I'm ChosenArchitect, and today we start All The Mons. Now, if you enjoyed All The Mons 10, you're going to 100% enjoy this mod pack as well. Not only does it have all the mods, it also has all of the Cobblemon. But it's not like Cobblemon was just simply tossed into this mod pack and that's it. No. There's a huge progression line built around battling and using your Cobblemon that I just haven't seen in any other Cobblemon single player experience. Now, even though I'm playing in single player, I mean, you don't have to. Because if you have some friends and you're looking to play All The Mons with them, be sure to check out the link down in the description below, where you can get 20% off of an Atlas server using my link. And not only do I recommend them, also it's trusted by the All The Mons team themselves. Server setup is incredibly fast and easy, and I believe that you will not struggle one bit getting your server up and running. So be sure to get out there and play with your friends. By the way, while you're down there checking out that description, you might as well click that subscribe button and also give this video a huge thumbs up, and also comment down below. What starter Pokemon are you actually going to choose in your adventure? Seed information will be down in the description, as well as you can find my link to my Discord, which I will have links to the actual shader settings that I'm using. So if you're interested in all of that, I'll have that pinned in general there on my Discord. Now, whenever you jump into your world, some things that you're going to notice is you're going to have a mini map that is up in the top corner. The way we can access that is by hitting J, and there's a ton of settings you can set up. But also in your keybinds, you can choose to be able to toggle this on and off. And I like to use tab for that. And it is going to be 100% necessary, as when we get into some Pokemon battling down the road or Cobblemon battling, well, we're going to probably want to be able to toggle that map off. But it is very helpful to have your coordinates up and running. And speaking of Cobblemon and many other things that are happening, you can actually hit M by default to choose your starter. And boy, is there a list to choose from. There are so many different starters that you can pick from just about every generation. However, I started playing Pokemon back in Ruby and Sapphire era, so Gen 3, which is when I started, and I absolutely love Trico. And so I have to start with Trico. And by the way, once you do choose your Mon, we will have a GUI that pops up on the left-hand side. And the more Mons we get, we can use our arrow keys to go up and down to select them. And then you can hit R to throw them out by default. And this is really cool. And we have ourselves a Trico that starts at level 10, which is pretty nice. But here's the thing. You don't actually have to pick your Mon right off the bat. You don't even have to start anything Cobblemon right off the bat. And so if you do choose your Mon and you want to get rid of having that information on the left-hand side, as it may be distracting, you can set the keybind, which by default is O. And if you want to remove the shader settings keybind, which will pull up also, you can go ahead and disable that one. And now we can just get back to normal gaming, even though we do still have that over on the side. Now, we'll come back to the Cobblemoning in a moment, but first, I really want to get myself a backpack. And that is going to be the #1 priority right off the start. That and possibly finding a village. Oh boy, speaking of a village, that looks like a village up ahead. Yes. Oh, and also we do have Auratech in here, and Auratech spawns these insanely powerful geodes all over the place. These things are absolutely ridiculous. And you could just literally find diamonds, like right on the surface. Ooh, and since we're here, another awesome thing that's in the pack, well, of course, we have FTB Ultimine. Yes, so you can hold down the grave key, which is directly underneath your escape key. Oh, and a Cobblemon just fell out of this tree. That's great. Now, the reason I want a backpack is because, well, All The Mons gives you so many goodies inside of the quest book, and we are going to need this as soon as possible. I tell you, though, this is a really fancy village. Look at this thing. There's like a castle in the middle and everything. What is going on here? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's see. Ooh, cobwebs are going to be very handy. We can actually use cobwebs once we have a sword to break this down into string, which is going to be needed for a backpack. Is there any more up here? A bunch of spider eyes. We'll come back to this village, definitely. I just want to check all of the chests. Apples, some food. That'll be perfect early on. Any more cobweb? Oh, steak. Thank you. Ooh, and I definitely want to grab a bed from the village. That'll be helpful. Now, something I noticed right off the bat is they don't really trade for emeralds. They trade for poké tokens, which is something that we're going to have to keep an eye out for as we continue on. Ooh, and we got a name tag and some string right here. Ooh, and 2 buckets. I'll take the buckets. I mean, yeah, this village even has a graveyard in it. Not spooky at all. Oh, and this village has 2 stables, actually. Look at that. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 stables. Now, outside of a backpack, my goal today is to hopefully find a place to sort of settle down and kind of get started with the Modpack. Now, we still need to do the basics of Minecraft, but we don't have to do it the standard way. We can actually make a crafting table and a stick, and this can go inside of a curio slot, and you can actually set a keybind for this. And I like to set my keybind to open up the crafting table and a stick to Control and E. It's very nice to get to. And you know, we still got to do the basics of Minecraft, but we can excel this quite quickly by using Vein Miner. Now with the basic tools in hand, now is when things get, a little bit cursed. See, we don't have passive mobs that really spawn in the world. Hostile mobs do spawn, but passive mobs don't. So we have to get creative with how we get things like leather, for example. You can, of course, loot leather, like, for example, here, and we can use a cutting board to potentially get that off. Or you can go around and try to find Cobblemon that you think might drop a particular item and slay them. Yes, like maybe a horse drops leather, or maybe a horse drops clay balls. Yeah, for example, this guy I do know drops and also can be sheared for wool. And after taking him out, I mean, it also drops some mutton too. And well, this guy's a pig, so I'm not even going to kill it. But there are several Cobblemon that are 100% worth like taking out early on, not even using your mons to defeat them. One really nice one to get some leather would be to find some milk tanks, if we can find them. Oh, and this is really nice too. Waystones is definitely in here, and you will find them sprawled throughout. So I'm definitely going to grab this, but my inventory is getting a little crammed. This is why I really need to get myself some leather. And much like All The Mons 10 was, I still think like the best way to get started early game is to just wander about, not even just diving straight in and going mining, just sort of wandering about and finding structures. And speaking of structures, this right here is an Ars tower, which is definitely trapped, as I've made the mistake of getting blown up by this several times in the past, but it also usually has some really good loot in it. You've just got to clear the bookshelves underneath, and yeah, make sure you get rid of the TNT. And let's see, look at that, we got iron. Look at that, now we can already make iron tools with a little bit of gold here too. Nice. Man, what a beautiful view this is. Oh, and I think there's a village down here. Oh, and there's a little starbuncle structure too, with source berries, which is definitely worth taking. You know what, I couldn't ask for a better seed, having 2 villages right next to each other. This is fantastic. You know what, let's activate this waystone, and we'll call this like Village 1 or Village, just so we know that we can get back to this village anytime. And this one has a link cable in it. Look at that. Something that I could possibly do is trade for leather. And Easy Villagers makes this super easy. Look at that. I can just pick them up. Now, it does look like there is actually a way to get a backpack via the quest, but it does have a few dependencies, meaning that you have to find these structures in the world. So your chances may be kind of limited. So you know what? I need a little bit of iron to be able to make a cauldron and some shears, and then we should be able to get all of the leather that we could ever want. Yeah, this is not the safest, the safest thing I could be doing right now. Why are there so many zombies? I mean, I just wanted to mine the iron. You know what, though? Another way to get a backpack is from, like, one of these guys. If I could just get this guy over here, we could potentially cheese this guy for a backpack. That might be the perfect plan. He just has a lot of health and resistances. You know what? This could be it. Except it didn't drop a backpack. That's fine. I'll just get it the old-fashioned way. And that should be enough. Now, while the iron is cooking, so we can get ourselves a cauldron, I might as well go over here and try to do some trades. And it just so happens that we actually have a mason villager, and there's tons of clay everywhere for us. So here with the mason villager, we can trade for several of these poké tokens. And now I can craft a cauldron and then some shears, and we are just about ready to go. Place this down, this right next to it, and now we can start trading for leather. Yeah, look at this. Like, it may be dyed, but that's going to be able to give us leather. How exactly? Well, a cutting board from Farmer's Delight. Let's go ahead and place that on here. We'll take our shears, and by placing this on here and using our shears on it, yes, it grants us leather. Ooh, now I did get some unidentified leather boots, and because they're unidentified, I can actually activate my world tier for Apotheosis. And so, to be able to do this, hit Control T to pull up this menu, and that activates, after you go through everything, your Haven level, which is going to allow you to see what this actually is. And I don't really want them. I'm just going to chop them up. I almost have enough. We just need 4. And so I'll just use the leather boots that I were wearing. We can take those, and that's everything needed for a backpack. Now, I honestly can't stress enough the importance of getting a backpack early game. This is going to change the way you play. By default, by the way, the key is B. You may have to reassign some keys, but look at that. It just gives us another inventory. But we can upgrade this immediately to copper tier, and this is going to upgrade it just a little bit further, you can see. But once we have it to copper tier, it does make our iron cost a little bit cheaper, and I believe you can just use 4 iron to upgrade it to iron tier. And now the backpack is like 3 or 2 times larger than our base inventory, meaning we can be a little bit more mobile when searching for our base location. So our backpack, yeah, let's put that in our Curious back slot. And now it feels so much better going out and exploring. These trees right here are pretty important to Cobblemon, and whenever you pop these off, you will end up getting Apricorns. But the real thing that you want is the Apricorn sapling, which will allow you to plant a new tree or just simply place an Apricorn on the side to be able to bone meal and grow it later. Yeah, the chances of getting them pretty slim, so try to farm these anytime you can. Yeah, these geodes are absolutely ridiculous. Look at all the like starting materials and like, for example, diamonds we can find here. This is going to get us leveled up. Now that is one heck of a mountain. You know, it really makes me want to like craft a boat. You know what? Let's go ahead and craft a boat real quick. And we are going to take this on and just kind of flow through it. I bet this is going to be a really pretty journey. And you never know, like these things could lead us to really pretty locations. Okay. This is gorgeous. With these mountains and like this little island down here. Did I just find my starting area? Like, is this literally it? Like, this looks like the perfect spot for a little starter house. Oh man, but like the ultimate base, like potentially being up on top of one of these mountains. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, and there's a house up here. You know what? I think this place right here is going to be the place to call home. So we can do /set home. And by doing that, I can now just type /home to get back here, no matter where we're at. And this is all mentioned, by the way, in the quest underneath the useful commands. And we even have like /RTP that we can use. I kind of want to get up to that house and kind of see what that is all about. The best way is probably using that water bucket that I found. I mean, I absolutely love scaling Minecraft with water buckets. It's so good. And there we go. See what this little quaint house has to offer. Does have a bell. Okay, some basic furniture and a whole lot of Cobblemon stuff, including balls. This is our first introduction to actually getting some Pokeballs. Let's see, there's a ladder leads up. Oh, and way more chests. Oh, and plenty of balls in here. Okay, that is more like it. Great balls. Yes, please. A net ball. I'll come back for more of these other stuff. Oh my goodness, a hunter's belt. That's a really good find. Oh, and there's one at the end here too. A dusk ball. All right, and some more apricorns and all kinds of other fun stuff. All right, so I don't have a whole lot of inventory space, so we'll probably end up coming back to this, but this is a nice little cozy shack. But now getting up here also lets me get a better view of what these mountains look like. Wow, and a massive cave. But I mean, come on, look at this little island down here. And there's like this perfect little valley that leads right to it. So you know what? Let's go ahead and turn this into a starter area. And that requires a starter house, which is going to utilize starter resources that can be just found throughout. For example, there's some dark oak over here, some regular oak all strung all along, and then of course some stone that we just got from just mining down. When all is said and done and everything is put together, you get this. And so there we go. We now have ourselves a very basic starter home, and inside here, plenty of space for some chests. I do have to get some more fence in here, but I mean, outside of that, everything is good. Minus one thing. You've got to go. This guy was bothering me the entire time. You know what? Give it a little bit of time and a little bit of organization skills, and voila, we now have some storage inside here. I even added a little bed up here where I've got my trapdoors along the sides, a little crafting table, which I probably will put a lantern on top of that. And then downstairs, we just have some furnaces for right now. I mean, just the basics. Now, the only other finishing touches I really want to put on here is getting a campfire up and running on the outside, just to give this build some life. And this is, in my opinion, a really good starter house, and something that can be put together in well under an hour or so. And look at this. We got ourselves loot balls. These are actually really, really nice and can grant us some really useful stuff. Also, they do make for some really good decoration, but I was actually on my way out here because as I was getting some dark oak for that build, I noticed that there was a geode out here that had some really interesting stuff on it. This one right here. Yes, there is diamond. Like right here. This is diamond. And so, hey, in the first episode, yet again, diamond. You can't beat that. Also, by the way, in this, there is most likely way more than just a single diamond. So this should be able to get us a diamond pickaxe. Man, just catching the build from different perspectives, absolutely breathtaking. So up to this point, I haven't redeemed any quests, and this is where things get a little bit ridiculous. So all I have to do now is click this button now that we have some chests and a place to call home, and we get a ton of things, and all of these things are most likely going to unlock a ton of other things, and we've just kind of got to get all of the things really just organized. I mean, these quests give us so many things. I just got ender pearls, more diamonds, glowstone. I haven't even been to the nether yet. So after sorting all of those items, we get even more items. I was just given an ender chest, so now we have access to an ender chest with no silk touch. So yeah, use that as you may. But once we eventually get silk touch, that'll be really nice. Oh yeah, and then we can't forget to get our random rewards, because there are a couple of those. And there's also a couple of pick from, which I think, like, for example, steel. Yeah, that's going to be one of the better ones to take. Because if you take steel, then you get access to even more steel, including a steel block. Man, what a relief it is to get all of that out of the way. Up to this point, I've not really done anything with the Cobblemons, but that is about to change, because we have a level 10 I don't know, poly over here, because we don't actually have the tools to be able to scan this. But as soon as we hit R, it's going to initiate battle. And we can actually hit escape to be able to move back and forth to like move into position, for example, anywhere we want. And then anytime we want to get the menu back up, we hit R again. And this pulls up a battle log that you can move around. There's also information up in the top screen here that shows weaknesses and all kinds of other fun stuff. And then we have all of our familiar buttons that you would normally find in a Pokemon game. For example, the catch button if we have a Pokeball, to switch out if we have multiple people in our parties, and then our fight, which we currently have a few different moves here, like Mega Drain, and we can see how effective they are. Of course, we're taking on a water type, so that means we are going to be super effective against it. Now, if you're interested in like the different typings, it's listed in the quest, which I think is kind of cool. So underneath the quests, we have a getting started for Cobblemon. And right in here, if you, for example, are battling a water type, and you can see that, you click on water type and you can see what it's vulnerable against. For example, grass. And so let's go ahead and take this guy on. So Mega Drain, we're looking at a power of 40 to 60. This one's 40 to 60 and also 20 to 30. This is showing like what its super effectiveness is going to do. And so let's use the one that has the highest number. And it just so happened to be that Poliwag, which we can now see its name, was sleeping because it was nighttime, which is kind of handy. And so we can just hit Mega Drain again, and it's most likely going to knock this Mon out. Yes, there it goes. I love seeing like little animations of everything, by the way. And there we go. Look at that. So our Mon also leveled up, and so now we're at level 11. But leveling is very interesting in this pack. And so what's interesting is we have a level cap. And so at the moment, we can't, I believe, go higher than level 15 until we battle some champions / leaders. Now, in order to do this, we need ourselves a trainer card. And thankfully, after we do a Pokemon battle, we get ourselves a trainer card. We also get some candies, and we get a few other important information. The trainer card, you can see level cap is 15. We can click on a series to actually choose one. And this is where I believe we have to go speak to a villager. Now, by the way, something I will note while holding this thing, it does point to trainers that are the trainers that you need to take on. And also, you'll start to notice trainers are spawning because this thing's in my inventory. If it's not in my inventory, we don't have to worry about any more of these guys spawning. But let's go ahead and place down a waystone. We'll call this one home. And then I want to travel back to that original village that I set that waystone in. And in here, we should have a couple of villagers that we can talk to. Let's see, this is a carpenter. That's definitely not the one. Aha, this is the trainer that we need to look for. Okay, so this is from the Radical Cobblemon trainers, and this is kind of where we choose, and we take our current card, and what we're going to do is we're going to choose who we want to go after. So we have the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I think that's a pretty good one. We have the Content Creators team, which you can actually choose if you want to fight me, which is pretty interesting. And then we also have the Radical Red. The difficulty, I believe, is something you want to keep an eye out for. So I think going with Brilliant Diamond at the start is perfect, and we'll create our trade. And a new journey, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, has now started, which is fantastic. And so now whenever we open this up, look at this. We now have ourselves a different trainer, Gym Leader Rourke, which will get us from level 15 to 16 after we defeat him. And speaking of defeating him, notice this is shining and actually pointing. This should actually point us to where this trainer is at. Am I ready for the trainer? Probably not. So I think this is the point where we should probably start prepping ourselves and making some useful tools that we're probably going to want to keep in our hotbar. And one of those useful tools is going to be a Pokedex. And this is probably going to stay in the hotbar because instead of us seeing question marks on top of their heads, we can scan them and we can say, hey, look, that's a Psyduck. And then after we catch him and all of that fun stuff, more information can be added to this. Also, I believe if you click on this or shift right click, it's supposed to pull the information directly up, but as you can see, it's listed somewhere in here. There it is, because we also have a search button, and perfect. If we were to actually catch Psyduck, though, it does show some important information in here, just like you would see in the normal games. I guess a good example of that would be showing you Trico, which is the one we currently have. So you can hear all of its sounds, its different walking animations and movement animations, and even different variants if you were to be able to see that. Even size comparisons, which I absolutely love. Now, some things I'm going to need to be working towards is also getting a healing machine and a PC and potentially a pasture block. We can't get those things just yet, but another thing is also the trainer spawner. So if you don't have them naturally spawning or they're taking too long, you can actually spawn it by using this. And there's a section in here, because this is the series trainer section we went through. Whenever we go into this, it even tells us specifically what item we're going to need. For example, a smooth rock, we can insert inside of the trainer spawner and just give it a second and it actually spawns the trainer right before your eyes. And I love the idea of this, so that way we could create future battles and it would allow for an arena to kind of like actually exist, which would be kind of fun to build. So you know what, let's see if we can't potentially catch a Mon, and I would really love to catch a Magikarp, preferably one that's not higher level than my level cap. So this one's level 19, so I do want to find one potentially a little bit lower. If not really low, it really doesn't matter. We won't really be able to use Magikarp just yet, but it is kind of a nice Mon to have hold of. Aha, perfect. So we have a level 12. We're currently level 11. So yeah, I don't think we have anything to worry about, because typically Magikarp doesn't have any offensive moves. It knows Splash. So if we throw this out, this is something we have to keep in mind. Our Mon will set on a raft, and I am going to still have to control my character. So if you start a battle like this, you don't have to click catch. You can actually just throw a ball, and we just so happen to have a netball. And so I'm going to try throwing my netball at it. And yes, we do have a mob. We do have a mob coming after us. Hopefully we'll catch it. I feel like it should have a pretty good chance. Perfect. So we now have caught our Mon. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's right. Our Pokemon can actually help fight for us, if you didn't know that. But I think this is really cool. We actually get XP whenever we do catch Mons. And that's a really nice feature. Now, there are a couple of Mons that I would recommend potentially catching early on. Zigzagoon is like one of those that would be really, really helpful. This one is level 17. So yeah, a little bit high. I don't think we're going to be able to catch it successfully unless we get really, really lucky. But the goal is for us to catch one that has a really nice ability. And oh, and we caught it right off the bat. That is perfect. So let's see if we have that special ability. If we hit M, we can click on this and we'll notice it has Gluttony, unfortunately, as its ability. This is actually not what we want. Instead, we were kind of looking for item pickup. Now, because this isn't a Pokemon I really want in my inventory, well, we can actually build ourselves a PC. Yes, we can actually take the PC too and put it on a stick, but it does work really well in game. And we can just drag and drop Mons from our main party into the PC. And yeah, we can also choose to release Mons. So for example, if I didn't want this one, I can just release it. But as of right now, might as well just keep it inside of the box. And any Cobblemon that you catch that, well, exceeds your party of 6, they automatically get sent to the PC. Much like what happens in the actual game. You know what? I think I do want to go on the hunt for some Zigzagoons. If I can get my hands on a few of those, that would be really, really helpful. Oh, and hey, look. You know what? Let's scan this guy first. This Mon, I do believe, has a chance of dropping slime, which I think could be really useful. Yes, there we go. There's some slime balls. Slime balls are pretty nice, as it will help us get started with an early game storage solution down the road. But anyways, Zigzagoons are just one of many Mons that actually have the pickup ability, or a chance to have it. Munchlax, this one up here, also another one that can have a pickup ability. However, this guy is a little high level for us at the moment. Awesome, there's also a Togepi. Wait, what? What level are you? You're only level 6? I've got to catch you. We've got to catch a Togepi. How could I not catch a Togepi? What? Yes. This is fantastic. Come on, first try. It's only level 6. Oh my goodness. We now have ourselves a Togepi. That's great. I just find this absolutely funny. Zigzagoon does have a higher chance of being caught or being found at night. Just a slightly higher chance, but this is kind of a raccoon, which kind of makes a whole lot of sense. Now, Togepi, I definitely don't want you battling, so we're going to switch. This is probably not a good idea considering it's level 17, but the level at the moment doesn't really matter too much. I just literally need to catch you. Please let me catch you. Oh, that was a critical capture, actually. It makes like a little jingle noise and then instantly captures it. That is fantastic. Now, unfortunately, this Zigzagoon is also a female, which is the same as the one that we caught before. And this one also carries Gluttony, which I'm not too worried about the typing. I just need a male and female, or a ditto, so we can start breeding them technically. So I really want to make a Zigzagoon army. Oh, and here's another one. Okay, perfect. Let's actually switch our starter Mon. There we go. Zigzagoon. Let's do this. Okay. And I've been pretty lucky with our catching. So hopefully I can just catch this one right off the bat. Another critical capture? That is awesome. And what's even better is this one is a male, and this one does have the pickup ability. Now this is where the fun begins, because this, we now get to set up a pasture block and actually make this thing. And the pasture block is an incredibly powerful tool. This is what's going to allow us to breed Pokemon, which is very, very important for getting more of a particular type, but it can also allow functionality for particular types of abilities. If I place an inventory next to it, this should now allow the one that has pickup, I can send it out and also send out this female, and these two will eventually start breeding. Already, they have created an egg. It's literally that fast. And what they also will be able to do is hopefully pick up blocks, pick up items that they randomly find, and they're going to start inputting this into the chest. And it is all kinds of items. I'm talking like a ton of different types of items, specifically from Cobblemon, but it'll also pick up food for you and many other things. And you can have up to 16 Mon out at once. Like, this gets kind of wild. And with them creating eggs, we can actually leave them here, and what will happen is they will eventually hatch into a Mon, and we just need to throw a Pokeball onto them to capture them. And just completely rinse and repeat this cycle. Keep doing it over and over again until we've built an army. Absolutely amazing. Already there's just items starting to build up and XP. This is great. And that, guys, is literally with just one that has pickup. So this is something that I definitely recommend getting set up as soon as possible. Get yourself a couple of Mons that have pickup. There's a ton of different Mons, and like there's a lot of Mons that have the pickup ability. For example, like Teddy Ursa, you can find those pretty commonly. You can find Fanfi pretty commonly, Munchlax. There's all kinds of Mons technically that carry it, but these make the most sense considering they're raccoons. Yep, we just filled our entire new base with trash pandas, but boy oh boy is it so worth it. And then we put it back in our PC, go back here, and this one happened to also have pickup, and then we just toss it out and there's another Mon able to do item pickup for us. Now, overall, I can't wait to explore more of the Cobblemon with you guys and learn, because I'm still learning about this mod, and so far it has been quite the experience, and I'm having a blast, especially since I grew up kind of playing Pokemon, so it kind of makes sense. But outside of all of that, even if you're not super into Pokemon, it really doesn't matter. It's still like a collect them all kind of experience, and so you can collect them all, and they also have uses for you in game. They can collect certain things, do certain tasks for you, all kinds of fun stuff. And so I'm pretty excited to put that to use, while also with the ultimate goal of automating Master Balls. Yes, which will allow us to, well, catch any Pokemon without any trouble whatsoever. And so, guys, with that, I am looking forward to journeying through all the Mons with you guys, and I hope you guys are excited for that. If you are, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode, and give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm, and also don't forget to comment down below. Remember, what's your favorite starter? Like, what starter are you choosing in your journey? I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. And now, as per tradition, it's time for me to thank the amazing supporter of the day's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to French Toast. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and getting access to all kinds of awesome perks, including world downloads, supporter servers, and all that fun stuff. Thank you so much. And guys, I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.